I call to order the Bergen Community College Board of Trustees meeting Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. Maria, please read the Open Public Meeting Act statement.
Yes, Chair Otis. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey have been satisfied by an annual notice, including the date, time, and place of this meeting, posted in the first floor main lobby of the Pickenet Education Center of Bergen Community College, was mailed to the Record and the Herald News, and was filed with the Clerk of the County of Bergen, November 26, 2018.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our legal counsel, Judy Verone, will administer the oath of office to our new Krista J. Flynn.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
Krista J. Flynn,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey.
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of trustee
of the office of trustee
of Bergen Community College
of Bergen Community College
in the County of Bergen,
in the County of Bergen,
State of New Jersey,
State of New Jersey,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can't let that go. Krista, welcome to Bergen Community College Board of Trustees. We really, really appreciate you being here and accepting the duties. I have assigned you to the Audit and Finance Committee and to the Site and Facilities Committee. And Maria will provide you with the schedule of both committees, okay? And if you need anything, just ask, okay? We're only right here, okay?
Thank you.
Maria, please take roll call.
Yes, Chair. Joseph A. Barretto.
Here.
Dorothy Blakesley.
Here.
Gerard Carroll.
Here.
Patrick Fletcher.
Here.
Krista Flynn.
Here.
Mark Longo.
Here.
Carol Otis.
Here.
Irene Ujo.
Here.
Shatal Ranchin. Joseph Zara.
Here.
Sabora Pekka. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now take reports. Does the Vice Chairman have a report?
Yes, Madam Chair. On April 6, I attended the BCC theater production of Noises Off. Again, another well-performed play and very well attended. On April 11th, I attended the Asian Heritage Committee BCC annual recognition luncheon with other board members here. On April 30th, I attended the STEM Center opening, the legislative luncheon, the BCC 50 for 50 wall unveiling, and the BCC Foundation Scholarship Awards, again with other members of the board. The STEM Center opening was well attended. There were so many people standing in the halls and waiting to get in. Madam Chair, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you very much. Does the Secretary have a report, Joe?
Nothing to
Okay. Does the treasurer have a report, Dottie?
Yes, the Audit and Finance Committee met at the end of last month. Very challenging month, but I have to say our executive staff is up to the challenge, and it was a good meeting.
Very good, thank you. Does the president have a report?
Always. But I need to start, though, with a bit of sad news that you may not be aware of. But E. Carter Corriston, longtime Board of Trustees member and chair of the Board of Trustees for 2 stints, passed away this week. We just were notified late yesterday afternoon. He was a member of the Board of Trustees from 1993 to 2016. He served 2 stints as chair of the board, I believe from 1997 to around 2004. And then he resumed the responsibility as chair of the board in 2009, all the way through 2016. We'll be making a wider announcement on campus so that the entire campus is aware of it. The services, the details will be provided in that email, but it will be, the visiting will be at the Frank, Patty, and Kenneth Mechatarian Funeral Home in Fort Lee. That's on Thursday from 3 to 5 and 7 to 9. And the funeral services are Friday at Holy Trinity Church in Fort Lee at 10 a.m. Carter has been a part of this institution for many years. I worked with him, under him, as a dean and as a senior staff member. So his loss, we'll miss him. I'd like to ask if we would just observe a moment of silence. And we'll continue now with my report. We have 2 good friends of mine and colleagues from the New Jersey Council of County Colleges, Aaron Fichtner, president of the council, and Phil LaFonte, head of the council, trustee head. And they're both with us this evening to tell you and tell us about some of the interesting things that are going on with the New Jersey Council of County Colleges. Aaron and Phil.
Dr. Redmond, thank you very much, and we do feel very at home here because of you and some of your trustees. Now, I gave all the trustees a bag of M&Ms, and this is your info of the day. Do you know that if you turned over the bag, it says Hackettstown, New Jersey, which is where I live, because all the M&Ms in the country are made in Hackettstown, New Jersey. So wherever I go, I always bring M&Ms. Every morning we smell chocolate when I get up, and 2 nights a week we smell roasted peanuts. I feel I live in Willy Wonka land. Thank you very much. You know, for those of you that are a little bit older and you remember the Bob Hope, Bing Crosby movies, The Road to, well, this is the road to Bergen for the Fichtner-Linfanti Roadshow, because we're attending, Aaron and myself have decided to attend every Board of Trustee meeting and talk a little bit about the New Jersey Council of County Colleges and what we do and how important we are. And you know, if you want to look at the last 50 years of community colleges in New Jersey, we have enrolled millions of students. Now let's look at a 1-year period. Do you know that every year the 19 community colleges in New Jersey enroll 350,000 students a year, the 19 of us. We give out almost 25,000 degrees. And do you know that 50% of all students who receive a bachelor's degree every year in New Jersey have community college credits on them? So when you look at those numbers, you realize the influence that community colleges have in the state. But the question is, do we really use that influence? Do we use that influence for funding purposes? Do we use that influence for early policy decisions? Do we use that influence so that the community college can get grants? And that's what we're trying to do. My part, before I introduce the president of NJCC, is to say that to trustees, and I don't have to say it to this group because I have to tell you, part of my speech every time we go out is to encourage trustees to get involved on the state and national level. I don't have to do this here. With your chair, Carol Otis, and your vice chair, Jerry Carroll and Shatal Ranjan, you guys are well represented at every meeting, every state meeting, every national conference. They're there making sure that not only Bergen, but the state of New Jersey is well represented. And I have to tell you, Bergen is a great community college. It's an extraordinary community college. But if you look at the 19 of us together, we are unstoppable. There is nothing that we can't do when we work together. And you know, we were actually put together by statute almost 30 years ago, New Jersey Council of Community Colleges. So it's not just an association. It actually was granted by the legislature by statute, and the main purpose of it is that funding is channeled through us, not only as a lobbyist group, but funding is channeled through us so that we can distribute that money to the community colleges. And believe it or not, even though there are 19 individual community colleges, 19 presidents, 19 board of trustees, for all these years, people have been able to sit at the table and agree without separating one another from the other, and that's extraordinary. So again, you know, it's very interesting because no matter whether we're in a blue county or a red county, a Republican county or a Democratic county, everybody loves the community college. Why? Because we do students first. That's what we're all about. We're not about politics. We're about students first. And that's why every county, all elected officials, all residents, we have something for everyone. We are so important across the state. And we hope that we're going to be able to use that influence for even more programs and more money and more policy decisions that are in the favor of community colleges. So again, I want to thank Dr. Redmond. You are very fortunate to have an extraordinary president. And again, we've been around throughout the state, and Dr. Redmond ranks with the top of them. And your board and your representatives, so I don't have to make the pitch to get someone involved on the state level, because you guys are very well represented. And last, I want to introduce, you know, we were very fortunate for many, many years to have Dr. Nespoli as the president of NJCCC. But a year and a half ago, when Larry decided to retire, we were all a little bit not sure where we were going to go. And I have to tell you, it's like almost like the plan was placed already before we even got started. Because we're very fortunate that we were able to bring on as the president of NJCCC, Dr. Aaron Fichtner, who has just been the right person at the right time. He has just made a smooth transition, and we see nothing but great things happening at NJCCC. So Aaron, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Phil, thank you for the kind introduction. It's wonderful to be here at Bergen, and it's just to echo what Phil said. We really all benefit at the state level by having incredible leadership from President Redmond and from the 3 trustees who come to all of our meetings, Carol and Gerard and Shatal, so thank you all for being heavily involved. So as Phil said, just to echo what Phil said, we are a federation of 19 community colleges, all independent entities. But we are built on the notion that we are stronger when we can work together across the 19 institutions, when we can learn from each other, when we can pool our influence, when we can speak with one voice to Trenton and our partners, and when we can find ways where collaboration really strengthens our individual 19 colleges. So we have an important role to play at the council in being your voice and the voice of the 19 community colleges to state government, to state business groups, to the governor or the legislature, and that certainly is an important role that we play and take incredibly seriously with all of your help. We also have an important role to find areas where we can collaborate, where we can work together and be stronger. And so about 9 months ago, we launched our Vision 2028 effort, which is really a series of discussions among community college leaders and stakeholders about what's the future look like. We know that the economy is changing rapidly. We know that technology is changing the very nature of how we live and we learn and we work, and that community colleges are really on the forefront of making sure that we have more people on a path to a good paying job and a good sustainable career, and that we're building that skilled workforce. The state has set an ambitious goal of increasing the percentages of adults in New Jersey that have a post-secondary education, a credential or a degree, to 65% by 2025. Currently, statewide, we're at about 52%. But I think there's a broad agreement, and I know all of you agree, that we need to find new ways to open up the doors of access to a community college education so that more people in our county, in our state, and our nation can have that post-secondary credential or degree that will allow them to have a family-supporting career. So I've left for you our initial 4-page overview of the themes that came out from all of those discussions in our Vision 2028 effort. And we are committed to the council to working with all 19 of our community colleges to advance the priorities that are in this document and to really find ways where we can work together and be stronger because of that federation that we have here in New Jersey. So 4 themes that I'll go over very, very quickly, and we're happy to take any questions, but very appreciative of all the time you've given us on your agenda. The first is that we really need to continue to find ways to increase access to a post-secondary education. Some of that is to continue to build on the great work that you've done here to build strong partnerships with high schools to make sure there's a pathway from high school to a community college and a post-secondary degree. And I know you all have been really leading that effort in many ways in New Jersey with your innovative partnerships with high schools. We also need to continue to think about how we help get adults who may not have had an opportunity for a post-secondary education or may have some college credits back to community college to be able to get a credential or degree. There's a large number of New Jerseyans that have some college credit but no degree who need a place to come to get that credential or degree. And we need to continue to think and work with the governor and the administration to think creatively about how we expand access through the Community College Opportunity Grant Program and other venues and strategies for making sure that financial barriers are not a reason that people don't get a post-secondary education. We obviously need to continue to support the success of students to make sure when they come to campuses like this that they get the supports that they need to continue and to complete their education. We have identified, as I know you have as well, that there are many social service support needs of our students at community colleges, and we need to redouble our effort to make sure that homelessness and housing insecurity, hunger, transportation, mental health, healthcare, all of those barriers to a college education are relieved through partnerships with state government and with community and faith-based organizations, and we're leading those discussions with our Department of Human Services in the state. Number 3, we need to continue to make sure that we're offering relevant and valuable learning to our students, recognizing that the world is rapidly changing and the skills that people need to have to be citizens of a complicated and ever-changing democracy, but also to be productive members of an interestingly and fast-moving economy, that we're on the cutting edge of that. And so, again, a number of the things that you all have pioneered here, we need to continue to build on: work-based learning, apprenticeships, industry-based credentials, stackable credentials. All of those things are major themes, and we're going to be continuing to talk about how we can work together to strengthen your efforts here at Bergen and across our 19 community colleges. And the final theme is really the important role that community colleges play as engines of their community. The cultural work that you do here, the building of community through the events and the continuing education offerings and the art events are critically important, and the role that you play in the economy here in Bergen County is important as well. And we need to recognize and celebrate the word community in Bergen Community College and in all of our community colleges. And that's an important role that we play and that we need to continue to build on. So it's really an exciting and important time. There's an incredible foundation to build on among our 19 community colleges, and we're committed to finding those opportunities for collaboration among the 19 and our federation of community colleges, in addition to the important work we do as being your voice to the governor, to the administration, and to the legislature and other statewide groups. We are incredibly fortunate to have Phil Linfante as our chair. You just heard from Phil. Phil's had a long and distinguished career in community colleges and now is the board chair at Warren County Community College and brings a fresh perspective to the council and to our leadership. And it's a very exciting time in the world of community colleges, and we are here to support your work and continue to find those areas where we can be stronger when we work together. So thank you all for your involvement and leadership, and thank you for all that you do here in Bergen County. And we look forward to working with all of you to make sure that we've got the most innovative and strong and collaborative community colleges in the country. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron and Phil. We appreciate you taking time to journey up this way in the state and share with us. We're looking forward to working with the other community colleges and with you as well, the council. Speaking of statewide initiatives, this week the Secretary of Higher Education, Zakiya Smith-Ellis, announced the memberships of the 5 working groups that will help to implement the state's new plan for higher education. And there are 6 members of the BCC community that have been named to those working groups. And I think that's really quite extraordinary. The announcements were just made yesterday. I'm on the Creating On-Ramps to College group, and on student success, Cinzia Deloria, our Dean of Continuing Education, has been named to that group, as well as Lee Janitis, a faculty member in the English department, and Armajit Kaur, who's the director of the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning at Bergen Community College. And then in the working group for safe and inclusive learning environments, Brandy Bookhart, our benefits administrator in our HR department, has been named to that group. I think that's just incredible that that's 6 of our people. And Chantal Ranjan, I think.
The safe and inclusive learning environment.
I have it here, sorry, yes. 2 members on the safe and inclusive learning environments, Brandy and Chantal Ranjan, so 6 people. So again, really great. So we had some students who took a venture down to Florida not long ago. It was the Black, Brown, and College Bound Summit. Gerard Carroll also accompanied them. We invited them to come tonight to share a little bit about their experience. So I'm going to ask Damian Davis, the director of the Summer Intensive Program, and Ron McKnight, the manager of our Multicultural Office, to please come forward and share with us your experience.
Good evening. I want to thank the Board of Trustees and, of course, Dr. Michael Redmond for giving us the opportunity to speak to you. We had an incredible trip down to Florida at the Black Brown College Bound, to give you a little bit of historic background before I bring on Dr. Davis and also have the young men come up and speak. Black Brown College Bound was started in 2006 at Hillsbury Community College in Tampa, Florida. And it has emerged as one of the preeminent national forums to address issues facing Black Latino males in higher education. And so the summit brings together college students as well as practitioners to engage in dialogue about critical issues, sharing successful stories and best practices for the success of men of color around the country. We've been going to Black Brown College Bound from 2013 to about 2019, for the last 6 years. We brought about over 50 young men down with us. And these men would tell you it was a very impactful trip that they've taken down to the college. I presented the last 2 years at Black Brown College Bound, 2018 and 2019. I do a program called the Progressive Male Initiative here on campus. It's a leadership program, and we were recognized nationally, one of 3 programs throughout the country by the committee, as well as Dr. Luke Woods, who's part of the diversity program there at San Diego State. So with that, I'm going to bring Dr. Davis on, let him finish off, and then the young men as well.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to quickly talk a little bit about the experience that the students had in terms of the structure of the entire conference, as they will probably let you know that it was kind of brutal at times because we had very long days. We will start very early in the morning. We will meet for breakfast around 7 o'clock in the morning, and then from there we would make sure that we're ready for the 8 or 8:30 a.m. Plenary or workshop. And then after that, the students would attend many different workshops between the 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock noon time. And then after that, there's a break for lunch. Most of the time it's sponsored by the conference itself. And then from there, students would attend the afternoon plenary as well as additional workshops well into the evening time. The conference is very structured. There are many different types of networking events, there are social events that are incorporated in the conference in which we attend. So I do have a very quick video because many of our students here were featured in the video. It was just posted actually a few days ago, and I would like the opportunity to play that for you.
The more we improve minority males' life, the more we improve our community.
You gotta keep fighting. You gotta keep getting up.
Get up, young people. Pull your pants up. Put the Instagram down. The mayor said, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up and be dressed neatly and represent well. That's the bottom line. Go to school. Finish that degree.
We assume that among the greatest in this country are Hispanic and African American.
Don't let somebody tell you what you can do and what you aren't.
Black, brown, and college bound.
I really got to be here with all these guys.
I love the way that sounds.
This summit is all about the minority males.
I will always talk about how I'm oppressed as a brown male.
We're still fighting an uphill battle.
Intellectual gifts aside, that's only going to carry you so far. There's some people who deserve to go to college, they ain't in college. There's some people who deserve to go to the university, ain't in the university.
I started in community college. When it comes to education and young people of color, we got a lot of work to do.
Black male students are mostly dropping out. And then right behind that is Latino males.
They usually graduate at a 20 to 30% less rate than the majority male.
If you do not go to school, it doesn't mean you won't be successful, but the way that this world is changing, you need a degree.
Go be successful and then come back and give back. When you're doctors and lawyers and scientists,
2/3 of all jobs in the future will require some kind of post-secondary education.
What they're saying is let's just make things easier for the black and brown kids because they can't do it.
We focus on all students at the institution, but this summit is specifically designed for minority males because they're a high-risk group and we're losing them in relationship to college completion.
You got your degree, but your education is not over.
all the learning I had never was wasted.
All hands on deck.
It is all hands on deck.
We need right now all the hands that we can get.
The janitors, the president, all of the teachers, the community, everybody is needed.
But it's each one teach two, three. It's not just one person doing this. It's gonna take a community.
This is probably as good an indication of what that looks like. Not only the academic advisors, clearly the college administrators and their professors, but the community.
Literally, it means that the whole institution is behind changing this paradigm.
There's never a tomorrow or when I get to it.
You better be excellent at what you're doing right now. The impact of this event is significant.
Diversity adds value to the education of all of us.
The fact that this is the 13th year of this speaks volumes to a real significant commitment. Make sure he continues to be a good bodyguard.
The reason why the summit is successful as it is now, because of the corporate support.
I have seen how long you guys have been involved in this. Thank you. Yes, sir.
If we build a community, we build a bank, right? We've always looked for programs that are beneficial to the communities that we serve. Black, Brown, College Bound is a program that helps young Black and Latino men understand how to deal with the impediments to going to college.
Groups like BBCB is trying to help folks get to where y'all going and stay there once you arrive.
You have to start 1 inch at a time.
And nothing's gonna come easy.
Struggle doesn't have to be bad.
We're making progress. I'm the first in my family to go to college, and I get it, like the bar's high. I wanna lead by example. My family's what motivates me to go to college, so no matter what I'm going through in life, I have to push forward.
Be a scientist. You could change the world. Who's giving me advice about what I should do? My parents didn't go to college, let alone graduate school. We know that college is an option, but graduate school is not talked about. That was my job today, was to communicate the benefits of graduate school.
I knew what it was and I knew like the purpose. I didn't feel the purpose until I came here.
We love students like you who come from community colleges. Harvard is here, Tuskegee is here, Florida International is here. These are some big time schools, but you have awesome GPA. What we gonna give you?
10,000.
We're gonna give you what?
10,000.
We're gonna give you $10,000. We'd certainly love for all students to come to Tuskegee. But the bigger picture here is for them to understand what they're trying to do, their end goal, pick the best institution for that.
You're a brilliant. And I want them to understand how important they are to life. They are the reason why we will always have a different future. Show up authentically. And you're going to see how far that's going to take you. A real education becomes what they actually make of their lives by way of what they get at home, their understanding of how they grow up in their communities, and what they eventually learn to seek out.
Football has been my entire life. But there's no, hey, we need a scout for the Rams. Chase the dream, guys. Don't chase money. These kids these days, a lot of them, they want to just hurry up and make money. That's not how it works all the time. When you go through these tough times, don't immediately look at someone else. First, look at yourself, look inward, and figure out, is there something that I'm doing? I want to make sure that they understand what they need to have, what it takes, the work ethic, the intangibles, networking, connecting with the right people.
I met and got in contact and was able to hand my business card off to multi-millionaires. It's just showing me like how many opportunities I have and how many like different ways I can choose my career. It shows us and our families that we can do something, that everything that they put us through, everything that we've been through, everything that they taught us, it was all for a reason.
These kids really are the future. Like, we're really depending on them.
I love this conference, but I look forward to the day when it will no longer be necessary.
Be prepared to endure. As long as we have minority males that are facing the challenges that they are facing for college completion, I think this summit is needed.
You cannot let anybody step in your way or stop the progress you made with a gift that God gave.
All right, and I'm going to invite the All-Stars to give their experiences.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Albert Perez. I'm the president of Five Islander Leadership Society Incorporated. So what BBCB, Black, Brown, and College Brown conference has done for me was it opened my eyes. Now, we heard during the video that the conference, it was very, it helped a lot of people find their purpose in why they were going to college. But for me, it just helped me. It just helped me build my purpose more. It helped me build my passion. So my passion is I want to be a computer engineer. I work really well with my hands. I get it from my father, but I wanted to mention how the networking it helped me find others in my field, others that are like me that want to do better, and I was able to relate with them, and it helped me drive my passion and seeing that there's a lot more people like me that have a drive to be better. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, President Bergen and Division Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joshua Jimenez. I'm the treasurer of Phi Psi Lambda Leadership Society Incorporated. And so I went to a workshop, I went to the medical field workshop where I met a professor who's currently working at a community college in Florida, but he had a very similar story to mine. He grew up in New York and then he moved to New Jersey just like me. So when I told him that, he immediately just gave me his personal phone number and said, if you ever need any help, just let me know. And he told me about this program, this free medical program that he said he will help me personally try to get in. And I'm very grateful for that because it did help me with my purpose as well. I was unsure what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be like a doctor, but I wasn't sure like if that was really for me. But when he told me and talked to me, and I still contact him to this day, it cemented that in. Like I really want to be a doctor now. So I just want to thank you, President Redmond, and the Board of Trustees.
What he said. No, but my name is Matthew Jimenez. I'm parliamentarian for Phi Psi Lambda Leadership Society. BBCB really is one of the things that empowered me. It showed me that being brown doesn't limit me at all. I can always be better than what I can be. I can always strive to be more, and I can always reach for the top no matter where I'm at. Also, I would like to thank you, the Board of Trustees, for letting us go. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kevin Lizama, and I'm pretty involved throughout the campus, actually. I originally started with the STEM Student Union, served as presidency, and I'm involved with the Pathway Scholars Program as a peer mentor. as well as the Latin American Student Association. I'm an active member, as well as student government, currently the public relations chair. And just recently, I got involved with the Bergen Foundation and the summer intensive program. I have a pretty busy schedule, but what the Black, Brown, College Bound did for me was phenomenal. You know, I wanted to come in to Bergen originally with, I remember the college experience. What is that about? You know, I always see the commercials. I see it in movies. I see it everywhere. Like, what is the college experience? I remember working full-time job first semester. It was a very robotic schedule, and I really wasn't growing as an individual. And to go to this event, I really thank you guys for letting us go. But one thing I do want to mention is that the workshops that were there definitely opened my mind a lot. I'm very open-minded now. And with the information that I received, with the organizations that I'm in and I'm involved throughout the clubs, I bring that here on the campus. And you know, at the end of the day, I just want to bring people together. But one thing that really resonated with me a lot was that this one person, I don't remember his name, but he was one of the keynote speakers there. But he remembered how much he wanted to change. But before you make change, you have to start home, and Bergen is my home. So I'm planning on making an impact here before I graduate next semester. Thank you very much.
So my name is Brian Gomez. I am the current chapter president of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society here at the college, the #1 chapter here in over 1,300 chapters. And going to this event, attending to a conference like this was a huge opportunity, and I thank the college a lot for not only the experiences that we as student leaders learned, but also through the workshops and me and other student leaders as well. Hearing the voices of what other students want to do as well, that really was an inspiration for all of us when we attended to the conference. And the workshops gave us not only an informative insight as to what we as leaders can bring out to the world, but also gave us insight as to what we can do to make a change. And I'm very grateful to attend to this conference, and I'm super, super happy to see that this is something that is still continuing. So thank you so much, and thank you to the Board of Trustees.
We're going to end this now, but I really want to thank Student Life, Student Affairs for being a partner with us on this. You know, it was really great. They really helped supplement in terms of payments and so forth. Just to let you know really quick, I know we got to go. Keynote speakers with Magic Johnson, Steve Harvey, General Colin Powell, John Legend, James Brown, you just saw, Hill Hopper, John Quinones, and of course you saw Dr. Dyson. And what's kind of cool about when the young men go, they kick the adults out the room, and those keynote speakers speak to the young men. You know, and no other way would have access to these keynote speakers. So thank you very much. And once again, thank Trustee Carroll, our special guest for the past 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. And Brian Gomez, you'll be seeing a lot of him. He was just elected to the Board of Trustees as the new alumni trustee.
Wonderful.
So he'll be starting. And we have one more presentation. I know it's been a little bit longer than normal, but some great things are happening at Bergen. About a year ago, less than a year ago, we were told by the state that we had to reduce all of our degrees from 66 credits down to 60. So two things were immediately obvious to me. One is that was a loss of $1.5 million in revenue after we had set our budget that we had to go scrambling to come up with. But the other thing is, how do we do that? I mean, curriculum is a difficult matter. A lot of people are involved. And I'm happy to say that Bergen got it done, and got it done ahead of time. And I'm going to ask Bill Mullaney if he might say a few words. I think there's some people that he would like to recognize too.
Thank you, Dr. Ribbon. And I'd like to invite Dr. Alan Kaufman up to the mic here because he was my partner in crime on this project.
All the crimes.
Dr. Ribbon sort of gave you the overview. The specifics, you know, the devil's in the details. We had over 140 programs and options in which we had to reduce to 60 credits. And I think the success of this project, we were able to succeed where some of our sister colleges struggled with the fact that we partnered administration and faculty to get this done. We created 4 separate groups, divided the programs up in a way that made sense. Each group was led by a dean and a faculty member who then invited folks to serve on their committee, and the committees got down to work. When the bill came out, the Senate thought they were being kind to us and saying, oh, you have a year to do this. What they didn't realize is that we have to get our programs up and running by April for registration. So what they thought were giving us a year, they're really giving us about 6 months to do the work. But I'm proud to report that we did get the work done. Enjoyed working with Alan in sort of making sure all the I's, T's were crossed and I's were dotted to get this work done. And let me just say a few words, because that'll be fun. I'd like Alan to say a few words.
One of the nicest parts of this was it was another example of how the administration these days and the faculty get to work together. It hasn't always been the case here, but we're going through a period when the administration and the faculty actually work very productively together, and this was a good example of it. Bill and I chaired the committee that oversaw the entire process, and we got it done expeditiously and thoroughly. Everybody on the faculty was involved in this process because every department had to make these decisions, and we proceeded in the appropriate fashion, which was that nothing could be approved for change until departments had approved them, and then curriculum committee had approved them, and then Senate had approved them. And when Michael had some questions about a few of the programs, he made his concerns clear, and they went back to the Senate again, and everything was approved. As Bill pointed out, not all the colleges in the state have been as successful at this as quickly as we were. But as Bill pointed out, we had to get this work actually done by March, because all the curriculum had to go before the curriculum committee in March in order for, actually in February, I correct myself, because then the faculty senate had to approve everything in April. And we had some very long, enormous meetings approving over 140 academic programs, and every single one of them needed to be changed and approved. And we were successful. When I was at the recent NJEA Higher Education Conference, I'm the chair of the Higher Ed Committee, and we talked a little about these 60 credit changes. And I want to tell you that not all of the colleges were able to do this as straightforwardly and successfully as we were. Let me mention one other thing, which is that one of the things we did as part of this project was to design a new curriculum that will serve as the default curriculum of the college. What the default curriculum is it's the curriculum that new entering students who are unsure of what they want to study are placed in. We've had other curricula in the past that weren't especially effective at this. This new default curriculum, which we hope to be able to bring before the curriculum committee and the Senate at the beginning of the next academic year, will, we hope, be much more effective. And I actually have cause to believe that it's going to help our retention efforts if we do it right. And allow me to point out that the curriculum that we are very close to approving was designed in draft by a committee of PTK students, and Brian was intimately involved in that process. We have been modifying it and making slight changes to it, but this new curriculum that we will be approving, that will come before the Senate at either our first or second meeting next year, will be the work of PTK students more than anything else. The committee that Dean Adam Goodell of Humanities co-chaired with me has worked, as I said, with this initial draft, and it's very close to being finalized. So we did a good job, and the entire college community deserves credit for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to recognize by name the chairs of the committee and ask any additional members like Brian to stand up to be recognized. The committee chairs were Dr. P.J. Riccado and Dr. Tobin DeMarco, Dr. Susan Bernard and Professor Lillian Ostrander, Dr. Victor Brown and Professor Brian Cordell, Professor Dean Adam Goodell, and Dr. Alan Kaufman, and someone who did a lot of the heavy lifting behind the scenes, the director of, the Assistant Dean of Curriculum, Dr. Eileen Hyman. Would all stand and be recognized, please? Thank you, Dr. Redmond.
Thank you very much.
That concludes my report.
Can I just make a comment to this? I come from the same background where this kind of work happens. So the collaboration that you have described between faculty and administration and the way you've been able to achieve this is primarily because you've been willing to collaborate from both sides. And I think this is the example of how things should be done going forward. So I commend the Faculty Senate for, having the trust and placing that trust in the administration, and likewise for the administration, because when these collaborations happen, real change can happen, and pretty quickly. So thank you for that.
Well done. Committee reports, audit and finance and legal.
Audit and Finance recommends that the board move and approve AF1 through AF11.
Educational and student affairs.
Yes, the ESA met last month, and I recommend that we approve ESA 1 through 5.
Personnel.
Personnel met on April 23rd. We recommend the approval of resolutions P1 through 8. And I'd also like to once again point out another example of cooperation, which is item P3, where we have reached agreement on the Equity Compensation Fund, which we're proud to bring for approval tonight.
Thank you. Site and facilities, Mark?
Site and facilities met on April 24th, and we're asking for board approval on resolutions SF1 and SF2.
Strategic planning and issues.
Strategic planning met on Friday, May 3rd, and we were lucky enough to have Chris Gillespie, Larry Levenka, and Ron Miller present their mid-year goals to us that are in line with our strategic plan. And it's amazing to see the collaboration across the college, and their one mission is student success. So it's such an honor to be able to be in those meetings and hear what they're doing.
Thank you. The alumni trustee is not here this evening, and my report is I just think we have one heck of a board here, and I hope that we can continue doing all the things that you need to make this college continue to grow and be the best there is, okay? Unfinished business, board member, is there any unfinished business that any board member would like to continue?
Planning retreat was
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. The offices from the Planning Committee for the 2019 Board Retreat, that will be held on Monday, August 5th, 2019. Gotti, would you like to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, the committee met. Gerard Carroll, Joe Retta, and I met, and we looked at a number of topics, but I think the topic that really rang true to us is looking at the long-term future of higher education in general, and looking to see what other community colleges and higher ed institutions nationwide are doing to face the challenges of lower enrollment and higher operating costs.
Thank you. Is anyone?
Facilitation.
Yeah.
So to discuss that.
Yeah, we're going to go. You want to make it?
Okay.
We are going to have a facilitator, but we haven't picked one yet, so.
Madam
maybe
Chair, what was the date, please?
August 5th, it's a
August
Monday.
5th.
We're trying to figure out the setup. We think it's going to be 8:30 to 2:30. But you know, things could change. New business. Is there any new business that any board member would like to raise? Okay. open to the public. May I please have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone wishing to address the board?
All right, good afternoon, members of the board, members of the BCC community. My name is Luis Debreu. I'm the director of the STEM program here at Bergen Community College. So first, I would like to reiterate my thank you message for the ongoing support from every member of the executive team, as well as the members of the Board of Trustees. A few of you were able to attend the grand opening event for the STEM Student Research Center last Tuesday, and it was a total success. Covered by multiple media outlets, I am still getting some positive feedback from the event, and mainly about the center itself. As I have mentioned before, our STEM center is very unique because at the very center of that solar system, we can find the stars, the students. We actually gravitate around their success. With this state-of-the-art center, we hope to bring awareness of what Bergen has to offer and the fact that we are ahead of the game, training our students, gaining those valuable technical skills. You're all welcome to come to the center for a tour of the facility, but this tour must take place after next Tuesday. Because next Tuesday, May 14, is the well-recognized conference, the STEM C-Square Research Summit. This is the time to actually see the work of our very talented STEM students and faculty. This is also the time to establish connections between high schools, other community colleges, four-year institutions, and this is a great networking opportunity for our students to connect with other institutions as well as corporate partners. I was able to secure sponsorship through IBM and the US Navy. Therefore, having you there to show support and to help me strengthen those relationships can help us go even further. I really hope to see you there, and as always, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the board?
Good evening, board members, president, public at large. I'm Tomer Zilka, HRM coordinator, and I just want to kind of tell you a little bit of what we've done this year as we conclude the semester. We've had a very special year. The reason why we decided to come here today is because we know the support that you are giving us in terms of developing the program, the relocation project that we're going through. There's a lot of funding that comes our way, a lot of time and efforts and decisions at your level that we feel that, and especially the students. This year, we've definitely had a special, many special moments and many moments of celebration at our level. And we've been involved in the community college-wide more than ever. The catering, we all know already, the functions that we've been involved in. And, but there's also this amazing talent that comes our way. And I couldn't be more proud to see the results that I'm not sure, I'm only here for about 4.5 years, but I can see the quality in what students get in terms of their education, the learning outcomes. It's easy for us to showcase that because everyone likes to eat. And actually April 30th, we concluded receiving all the Perkins equipment. It's amazing what's going on in Ender Hall now. It's not even the new building, but it's a very microcosm of what's going to happen. I have shared to some of you an email about some of the products that we are able to, techniques and products that we're able to introduce to students. And so that's us. I also apologize and very appreciate the work that you do, Dr. Mullaney, and bearing with me. And I fall short in many other areas, but it's all done because we're doing a lot of things for the first time. So thank you for the support and the responsiveness. We really appreciate that. I have a couple of students today. In our program, we pretty much we have 11 people between faculty, adjuncts, and tech assistants. And I would like to. I believe that we're doing pretty good in terms of teamwork, and we're able to make a lot of changes for such a small, group. Chef Dion, I would like you to come to the microphone just to kind of speak about what you've done in the Bergen room, and especially this month. So,
good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. First and foremost, I'd like to thanks Dr. Redmond, the board, the entire BCC family for allowing me to work with our students. I am help. I don't get paid, but it's okay for me. I've been here 4 years. I'm a disabled vet. I cannot work and get an income, so thank you for allowing me to work with these beautiful students. To piggyback off of Professor Zilker's comment, we have really brought this to a level of strength. Working together, night and day, the Bergen room, pushing our students to the best, bringing them right to the table, and having them speak to a customer is a big deal, because some folks have to learn how to present what they're offering. With that being said, we're venturing into some awesome curriculum. We've been on several farm trips, field trips, to farms, local farms. One is up in Pennsylvania, a research farm, where myself and Sherry Wilson went up and we took a look at what was being done there, and it was amazing. And about 2 weeks ago, we went to a local farm in Blairstown, and that's where they have cattle, Angus beef, they have sheep, they have hogs, everything you can imagine. And the process that they go through, how they feed the animals, how they take care of the animals, how they breed them, is amazing. It's a system, it's a process. And then, actually next week, I'm going to experience how they actually take them from the farm and they ship them out to a slaughterhouse to do what has to be done to be put into the markets. And it's amazing, because in the process of different cuts of meat, how it's cooked, how it's smoked, how it's cured, it's unbelievable. And I believe that our students should experience that, because it's important once they get in the culinary world to know exactly what they can do and the creativity that's involved. And it was great. And again, I'm going back because I'm going to continue following the steps before our students get there. I want to make sure that it's a safe environment. It's a well-designed system that fits in for what we're doing. And so far, it's been great. Again, thank you so kindly. I appreciate you guys entirely. And I want to bring up our students that experienced it with us. And one particular young lady, Gerald, amazing in the kitchen, amazing. But here he is.
So I just wanted to briefly discuss the trip to the farm that we had recently that Chef Dion mentioned. It was an incredible opportunity because our field is so involved. It is not just the product that ends up on your plate. It is a very long journey, and it is a journey that it is important for us to be a part of as culinary professionals. So it was a wonderful opportunity to go and to experience and to see how things are being raised, how things are being treated, the importance of that in how it translates not only into our product, but into our passion and into our craft. As much as there is attention being paid to farm to table, there is also equal attention to nose to tail. And that is something that we kind of got to experience because we met with someone who is as passionate about their product as we are. And for Don Rodrigo, who was the owner of the farm, and also the butcher and the store that we visited in Newark, we went to the farm to see the animals being raised and how they were cared for, all the way to Newark where we saw the final product and we got to taste the final product, and that was honestly the best part. But I mean, the ham and the chorizo and all of these things, they translate into more than just a product, more than just a food. It is a cause. You know, that sustainability, that responsibility, that attention to organic, to whole, that is something that is very important for culinary professionals, because with the attention being paid to culinary arts now, it's no longer just about what we put on your table. It's about the message that we are trying to say. It is about the cause that we are trying to promote, whether it is a social awareness about sustainability or about organic produce or organic meats. We now have this knowledge to back our craft. So years from now, when we are running our own kitchens or running our own hotels, and someone asks us, well, where did you get your passion? And we'll say, well, that came from within. And, well, where did you get your skills? That came from our chefs. But when they ask, where did you get your awareness, your social awareness, your cause? That's when we say, from Bergen. So, thank you.
Okay, without further ado, this young lady's coming up. I kind of adopted her 2 years ago. And she's been going by the nickname of my daughter because I push her and push her as I would my own child with zero tolerance for shenanigans. Zero tolerance, she'll tell you, but she turned out awesome. God bless her, she's awesome.
Just pull it, pull it.
Hi, good evening. My name is Caitlin Krifkins. I'm, just as Dion was saying, I've been here for 2 years. I'm actually getting ready to graduate. I'm going up to Johnson & Wales. And I'm going to finish my bachelor's in baking and pastry arts. 2 years ago, I moved here from New York, and I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And as soon as I came to Bergen and I heard that they had the culinary program, I always loved to cook. I always loved to be in the kitchen. So I decided to take the risk and do it. And it's just, I've never looked back. I love the program. I love the mentors and the chefs that I have. And it's just been an incredible experience. This year we actually got new chefs. We have Chef Christina Andrews and Chef Aaron, and they have been an amazing asset to our program. Chef Christina, she teaches the confectionery arts class, and me, who's focusing in baking and pastry, really took an interest to that. And I mean, I've learned so much from her, and because of Bergen, I'm going to be able to go up and finish my degree with more knowledge, more background, and just thrive. So.
Very good. Good luck.
Thank you. And what ties all of this together is a USDA grant for $250,000 that we're applying for. There are many moving parts to help a couple of pillars, such as lining the community with the curriculum. And several of the moving parts include choosing the vendors, choosing the farms, working with minority-owned businesses, and a couple of the key players we'd like to thank as we continue this process are the Grants Office, run by Mark Melisani and Bill Yakowitz, and also our staff and lab assistants, Deborah Davis and Sherry Wilson, for doing their parts as well in helping seek the vendors. And this is an ongoing process, so thank you for your attention and for your support.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the board? Here we are.
Yes.
Richard, could you use the mic, please? Thank you.
My reference here is to P7, I believe. P7. Nice to see all of you again. It's been a while, but I usually come when I have an issue to bring before you. So, there was a termination of one of our employees who was the director of the testing center. And I think, frankly, you're making a mistake. All right? Well, let me read you a couple things just to remind you, because we are an educational institution. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service. And it also says that shall not be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. You know where that came from, don't you? U.S. Constitution, Amendment number 5. Let me read you another. I can find it. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the 14th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution. Now, what we're really talking about here is actually memorialization of those amendments in the Professional Staff Association. All right? Because under Article 17 of the Professional Staff Association, that issue of due process and just cause is addressed. All right? And it is taken from the concept of our constitutional right to due process. All right? So I just want to remind you what is in our Constitution and what is in our contract. And to remind you that I think you're not following either the contract or what's guaranteed under our Constitution. Let me pull another document out, if I may. There is, in a ruling, it goes back quite a number of years, as to what we call the tenets of process. The tenets of process. Number one, it's the 10 tenets. An unbiased tribunal. Notice of the proposed action and the grounds asserted for it. Opportunity to present reasons why the proposed action should not be taken. 4, right to present evidence, including the right to call witnesses. 5, the right to know opposing evidence. 6, the right to cross-examine adverse witnesses. 7, a decision based exclusively on the evidence presented. 8, opportunity to be represented by counsel. 9, requirement that the tribunal prepare a record of the evidence presented. And 10, requirement that the tribunal prepare written findings of facts and reasons for its decision. In the case of the termination of the manager of the testing center, and keep in mind these 10 criteria. there was no notice. I learned approximately, and I'm giving it actually extra minutes, approximately 5 minutes before the meeting to terminate. And that was argued because someone believed that we should be transparent. 5 minutes. It had already been decided. No one came to me. No one came to him. No hearing. No presentations of accusations. Just a letter with a lot of generalizations and accusations that are simply false. No chance to respond to the accusations. No chance to cross-examine the accusers, or even know who the accusers are. No chance to present evidence. No chance to bring witnesses. No chance to present reasons to oppose the decision. And no unbiased tribunal. This idea is enshrined not only in our contract, but in most contracts that I've seen. I've been in this business for some 35 years as an NJEA consultant. And it's almost in every contract that I've seen. All right? And I have won cases on the basis of no process. One case I remember winning against the Dakotas law firm. And after 4 years of litigation, we ended up having to pay this man 6 figures, including having to chase one of the witnesses down who took off to India.
Richard, could you try to wrap it up?
I'm going to try and wrap it up, but I think this is an important enough
I know
issue.
it's important, but...
Right. So let me wrap it up.
Okay.
Very simple. We are a community college. We talk about serving students. We talk about serving the community. I should note to you that there's also violation of the PERC law. You fired a union leader, and that will result in an unfair practice. But given that you serve the community and our students that we kept talking about tonight, beautiful, I would like to know, when is the administration going to give a good example to our students and to the community that we serve regarding fairness and the constitutional right of due process in the way we handle our employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Seeing no one, may I have a motion to close the public meeting?
Moved.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Actions for on the approval of minutes. May I please have a motion to accept the April 2nd, 2019 meeting minutes?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Should we take a roll call on that? Want to take a roll call? Okay.
Josephine Barretto? Yes. Dorothy Blakesley?
Yes.
Gerard Carroll?
Yes.
Patrick Fletcher?
Yes.
Krista Flynn left the meeting. Mark Longo?
Yes.
Carol Otis?
Yes.
Irene Ujo?
Yes.
Chantal Ranjan?
Yes.
Joseph Zara?
Yes.
And Sabora Pekka is absent tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passed. Consent agenda items for approval for Tuesday, May 7, 2019. May I please have a motion to approve the following consent agenda items: AF1 to AF11, ESA1 to ESA5, Institutional 1, Personnel P1A, right along, to P6D and 7 and 8, SF1 and SF2. I have a motion to...
Motion.
Second. Maria, please take a roll call.
Yes. Joseph A. Barretto. Dorothy Blakesley.
Yes.
Gerard Carroll.
Yes.
Patrick Fletcher.
Yes.
Christopher Flynn left the meeting. Mark Longo.
Wish to recuse myself on AF1, yes on everything else.
Thank you. Carol Otis.
Yes.
Irene Ujo.
Yes.
Shatal Ranjan.
Yes on everything except P7 abstain.
Thank you. Joseph Zara.
Yes.
And Sabora Peck is absent this evening.
Okay, the motion passes on the consent agenda. There's no executive session.
No.
No executive session, so Maria, please read the rest, oh, we don't need it. I'm sorry, just go on. May I, let's see, we have an adjournment.
Motion.
Sure. Make a
I
comment.
just think, with all due respect, that it is, during meetings like this, when there are students and presentations on all the great work that they've done and the things they've accomplished, I don't think it's appropriate to try to loop them in whenever it comes to some other, bringing up some sort of negotiation or a history lesson or things that have happened to staff. This shouldn't be the place for it. And tying in kids and trying to, make that connection, I just think it's inappropriate. I've been in the game as much as anybody else here for 30-something years. I would never do that to my students and try to and bring that when we had just had wonderful presentations and other people coming in here that put their heart and soul into it. And just to try to grandstand, I just think it's inappropriate. And that's my personal opinion, not the opinion of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move that.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The May 2nd, 2019 meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned.
Yeah.